Hello, everybody. This is CB with your business reality, and today we have an amazing guest. But before we go there, let's get started with our intro. And welcome back again with CB. And today we have a special guest, and this person is so dear to my heart. I would say in many ways she saved me in the direction that I was going with my career. And she is a program director at Point Loma Nazarene for the organizational leadership program, Dr. Bo Bay. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal. Hello, everyone.
Oh, this person I have to tell you guys. When I started at Point Loma Nazarene in the leadership program, I was confused, lost, didn't know what direction I was going to go into. I think I changed degrees like 3 or 4 times while I was in there, or as far as careers, we'll say. And Dr. Bay is just so nurturing, and she just took me in and was like, okay, we need to figure out what direction we're really going to go into. Because, at the end of the day, when you're done here, you're gonna have to get a job and in a career and so forth. And so I will let you all know where I ended up. But in the meantime, Dr. Bay, please explain a little bit about the program and why it's so important and so dear to us.
Sure. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate getting the chance to talk about the Bachelor's in Organizational Leadership program at Point Loma Nazarene University. There's a lot of highlights to our program that I like to emphasize. The first one really being that it's for the working professional. So oftentimes we visualize college as being an opportunity for traditional age 18 to 24-year-olds coming to campus, you know, um, tackling on different classes throughout a residential program. But we know that in this day and age, that's really become less and less of a reality. And more of our students are full-time working adults who have decided they wanted to go back to school. So our program is a bachelor's in organizational leadership program that really emphasizes completing your bachelor's in 15 months. So oftentimes a bachelor's degree is 120 units, and 36 of those units would be completed with Point Loma Nazarene. So how it essentially works is you have 84 units that you complete at another college, or mostly at the community colleges. We have found our students have completed them, and then they transfer in to our BAL program. And our org leadership program then becomes a major, if you will, in which students complete 36 units within 15 months.
Right.
We do have this program so that it's scaffolded, so it's completed in 4 terms, and in each term you take 9 units. So the great thing is that our classes are either the hybrid modality or fully online. So the fully online is self-explanatory, where you complete all your courses online, and you're able to communicate with your professor on different deadlines and talk about different content as needed. And then we have our hybrid modality, which is, you go to a campus. We actually have 2 campuses, Mission Valley and at Cuyamaca College, where you're able to meet there once a week. So let's just say it's a Tuesday night, that's the designated night of the week. Then you would meet every Tuesday night for 4 hours. Then you would complete those hours in person in real live time. And the rest of that class would be then completed online. So you'd complete that really format for 15 months. And then at the end of that time, you graduate with your bachelor's degree.
I mean, we can just fairly say that it's never too late to finish your education, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, in my class, there was ranges of people of all walks of life, and they still have a regular job. They had full-time job and even, and and it was beautiful to see the diversity of the people that were in our classes and the
Oh,
different paths
yeah.
of life. And we just learned so much from one another. And most importantly,
Yes.
one of the things that I loved about this program is that I still have connections with all these people in my classes. I still like I'm connected to them, and I still talk to some of them on a regularly basis. So you
Yes.
relationships with them, with people that are already in a career base that understand you, that you're not, like, just starting school, like, you have to continue for whatever reason, life happens, right?
Yes,
We all know, especially last year, life completely happens, and so this is a beautiful time to just get started on something and finish it, right?
yes, yes, absolutely. And you've hit upon a really great highlight there is that oftentimes students are fearful of coming back to school, right? And there's a lot of anxiety. There's the imposter syndrome that sets in. But what's beautiful about the org leadership program is that you come in with a cohort of other people who are in the same boat and who are struggling with life demands and who are fearful that they won't be able to complete the program. And so you create this community where you support one another, and those moments of where you feel like, oh, I don't think I can really do this, you'll have your colleagues surrounding you and uplifting you so that you do. The moments where they don't feel like they can, you then become the supporter, right? And you learn so much from the different professors, but Crystal, as you said, you also really learn from your different classmates, and you start to become interested in what they do in their different fields. And it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, absolutely, and one of the coolest things that I thought, in my opinion, was you know how in typical, like, rooms and classrooms, like, you see one another one semester and then you're done?
Yes,
In
yes,
this cohort, it's like you start together and you finish together, so when
yes,
graduation came, it was so emotional for every single one of us because we've been through we were together throughout the whole struggles and all the
yes,
greatness of the program. It's a lot of work, but at the same time, at the end of the day, it's worth it, because
yes.
one of the things that I just wanna point out about this program as well is it doesn't only teach you about the tactics and the dynamics of it. It teach you about leadership and about yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what leader are you, and what leader do you wanna be for the community and for your team or for your corporation, wherever you're gonna be a leader at? What kind of
Mm-hmm.
person do you wanna be? Do you wanna be genuine? Do you wanna be good? Do you wanna be fair? Or do you wanna be the opposite of it, right? And so it
Yes,
really puts a perspective into yourself and kind of like a mirror of the person that you are and start to think, "Okay, I need to start changing some of these ways in order to get where we need to get at
that's
in
right.
a manner," right? And so
That's right.
that's that's the beauty of it because everybody that came out of it came out the same with the same
Yes,
understanding of that.
yes,
So it's
yes,
quality relationships that you built upon it, as well. And I know
yes,
that I did the fully online, so I know a lot of people are like, "Well, how are you gonna connect with people? How are you gonna make friends?" Believe me, you're constantly together, that you're gonna have each other's phone numbers, you're gonna probably add each other's on social media, and,
mhm,
get to know each other more and understand because when you do projects and things like that, you want to make sure you wanna understand how everybody's strength and weaknesses are so that the project is done well,
yes,
right?
that's right. Yeah, and it is about intentionality, right? So in the online realm, as we've discovered so much during the past like 9, 10 months, you have to be intentional about the connection. But I mean, as Crystal has exhibited during her time in the program and so many others, is once you take that step of initiating relationships, then it becomes really easy to connect because you're learning the same content throughout the 15 months together. And so it becomes a really relatable type of atmosphere where you're able to sync up and you're able to communicate. And then life just happens. And then all of a sudden you get to know each other's families and each other's quirks. And that becomes part of the adventure as well.
Right. In this case, in my opinion, you're no longer a number because you actually do
Yes,
have close relationships with your teachers and with your cohort, the people that are in the classes with you.
yes.
And if you stay communicative, believe me that they will help you in any way that you can. It's since Point Loma is a private school, so it's more about the students, making sure that the students are going to do well in their education and help them in any way that they can. I mean, Dr. Bo and I are still friends after,
Yes,
like, I don't know, a
right.
year and a half, last time I graduated. And
That's
so,
right.
you still build those relationships and still connected if you wanted to, right? And the
Yes.
people in Point Loma are all quality people, the teachers, the professors, a lot of them have have a good understanding about the subject, but most importantly, also, they have understanding of other areas outside of
Mhm.
the school. And for me, because I started my business right when I was in Point Loma Nazarene, for me, that was very valuable. What do I mean by that? So when I was going through a program, I was going through a lot of ups and downs in my life, trying to figure out who I was, what was I supposed to be doing in this life, right? Everybody asks you, what are you what career are you gonna do? And what's I've honestly, it's one of the hardest questions because we don't if we don't know ourselves well, then it's hard to say, okay, this is what my career is gonna be. So at Point Loma, I figured out who I was and who
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be in this world. So I actually started my business for Unstoppable Marketing Solutions while I was at Point Loma. So it was fun for me because there was a subject where we were writing policies. Oh, well, I was writing
Yeah.
policies for my business. We were some like business related stuff that I was gonna actually use for my business. I learned it from Point Loma. So everything you learn, it's actually gonna be applicable no matter what like career you go to. It's very applicable and it's very valuable. So
Yes.
now we're at Q Podcast, and now I am serving a servant leader
That's
and
right.
serving my community, and that's kind of like a couple of things that you would learn. But
Yes.
um, you
Yes.
know, just tell me a little bit of more. I mean, you've been there for almost 2 years. Tell me so far your experience at the Point Loma and and being a program director for
Yeah.
regional leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been such a wonderful adventure. I graduated with my degree in leadership studies, and so I come from an interdisciplinary background. And I chose to become the director of this program because it also pulls from the same types of disciplines, right? So you have psychology, anthropology, sociology, even some political science in there, right? And what it does is it starts to open up your eyes to all these different industries and all these different backgrounds of people, these different cultures that people have grown up with. And it becomes an opportunity to explore more of who you are in light of your relationships, right? And so what I found is I've got to know a ton of different students that walk in our doors, and symbolically, right? And they've really opened my eyes to the fact of why we need such a diverse group of people in our community working together, right? Because we all have our different strengths, we all have our different ways of leading. And I've come to recognize that more and more throughout my time at Point Loma. I will even say there's this story you talk about self exploration, Crystal. There are a couple of opportunities where I have seen our students come to that realization, right? So I had one particular student come in and already saying like, okay, I'm in real estate. I'm going to continue in real estate. I just need this degree to help me continuously move in that field. Well, she ended up having the opportunity to do a couple of informational interviews in her first term, and she connected with an attorney, right? So you're supposed to choose somebody in your field and then another professional outside your field. And so she just decided out of on a whim, to go ahead and connect with somebody who was in the law field. And she ended up just kind of having this conversation with this person and just became a little more interested. When she came back into the classroom and we broke up into groups to talk about their experiences, she connected with another colleague whose best friend was an attorney. And so she was able to tap into him and have more additional conversation. And long story short, she ended up, taking the LSAT, and now she's in her first year of law school, in Ohio. Um, and that was even just kind of like not a really huge moment for her. She wasn't looking for that, right? It just kind of came upon her. And those are so many moments where that exists, right, throughout the program. Moments where you're intentionally seeking and moments where those opportunities kind of come seek you out. And I really love that. And I love being exposed to that in my role. It's like really one of the moments where I feel most connected to our students and most connected to really what our program can offer.
And I think that in those are beautiful stories because we are coming in, we're little caterpillars, and then we leave the program and we're little butterflies. We're ready to
That's
take the
right.
world. And
That's
I mean,
right.
I've seen other of some of my friends done fantastic job after coming out of this program as well, and they're doing phenomenal. And
Yes.
so setting that foundation, right, of just setting those foundations are essential, and it makes you think, okay, we need more of this. We need
Yeah,
more of this in the schools, right? We
yes,
need foundation
absolutely.
and more, personal understanding of ourselves rather than
Yes,
tactics, right? And so
yes,
this program kind of, I feel like, gave me both
yeah,
tactics and the foundation of, okay, what are you gonna do with your life? Like, who are you
yes.
gonna be, right? Who are you
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be?
that's right. Well, and there's such a huge emphasis on vocation and calling, right? So Point Loma is a faith-based institution, and really the emphasis is who are you called to be, right? And let us help you journey through that together. And we know that education can be really a scary road, and so really my philosophy as a program director is how can we support you? How can we support the student in their journey, right? And we'd be happy to do that through meetings, through prayer, through conversation, whatever way or form that looks like. We're ready to work alongside the student. And we're able to do that because we have small cohorts, right? We have anywhere from 15 to 20 students in each cohort. So it's not like you're lost in a sea of faces. You're really one of a few that we've come to know throughout the program. And so that, I mean, I think that's really a huge point for me is like our emphasis on relationships and wanting to build each other up is so critical
Yeah.
because the mission of the university is what becomes the basis for whatever we do, right? And so, so you said it so well, Crystal, right? Like it's really like what is it that you're called to do? What's that passion in you that's been woken up,
Right.
in the program that we can help you unearth even more? So that's the emphasis.
And everybody, even the teachers, is so supportive, but one of the
Yeah,
common things that I feel, the teachers are teachers, but they all have a common thing, and they have faith.
yeah, that's right.
And that's
That's
huge.
right.
They have faith, they believe in as a student, they believe in us.
Yes.
We don't even believe in ourselves, like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Having
Yeah.
them there as a support system, and even same with you, Bo, you've been such a huge support system.
Mhm.
I can be proudly and say, "Bo, oh my god, you've been amazing to me in my,"
Oh, thank
and figure
you.
out my life path. And, for a moment there, it was rocky, but now for me, it's more light. And I
Yeah,
feel very privileged and honored to be able to be part of that cohort. And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta be honest. I didn't apply to any other school. I only applied to Point Loma Nazarene. I had so much faith that you guys were gonna take
that's
me
right.
in. I felt it was a calling. I felt like that was my school. That was where I was
Yes,
supposed to be at. And
yes, that's so awesome.
and
And we love you for it.
oh, no, thank you for accepting me. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, it's just kind of your story, Crystal, really goes to show what can result from a program like ours, right? Like you were lost for a bit, right? You had your struggles, but you used the resources, you communicated, you built relationships that have gotten you to a place where you feel stable and you feel like you're known, right, in your role. And that's really what the emphasis is in our program. We want everybody to feel like they belong to a certain community, to a certain organization, right? And so, how do we get there? That's really the question, and it's different for every student. And I think that's fine, and I think that's kind of part of the excitement is being able to walk alongside each student in their different journey.
Absolutely. And it's been such a privilege. And Bo, I want to thank you for being here today and speaking about the fantastic
Sure.
program that you have that I was part of once, and feel very proud to be there. And I came out even better. So that's such a success story, not only for me, but
Yes.
for my family as well. Thank,
Yes. Thank you so much.
no, thank you. And I just want to thank everybody for listening today. And if you genuinely want to hear more about the program, or maybe you want to talk to somebody about the program, Bo, do you have an email where they can contact you? I've
Yes,
attached the link for
absolutely.
the program, so if you want to look more
Oh,
into it
great.
as
Yes.
well. But if
Yeah.
specific questions,
Yeah, please feel free to reach out. We have our admissions counselors who are ready to connect with anybody who has any inquiries. Feel free to email me. My email address is bbae@pointmoma.edu. But appreciate the time and appreciate you so much, Crystal, for being such a great alumna of the program and being such a highlight to kind of my career.
Okay, maybe one day I'll
Wonderful.
teach you the program.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe one day. You never know.
You never know.
I love Paloma so much that I'm willing to
Right.
teach there. It's just how much the environment it is, and for me, environment and all that is teamwork is huge for me,
Yes.
so absolutely. And I just wanna, ask all of you if you would like to like our Facebook page, Instagram, and our subscribe to our YouTube if you wanna look more of into the video. And I'll attach the links, don't worry, I'll have everything here. And
Mhm.
also, I wanna thank all our sponsors, Attorney King, thank you for everything that you do. Honestly, you've done so much for us in the past 20 for, year 2020, we appreciate you. Team Broadhead with Indian Motorcycle, you've also been, like, a blessing in disguise for us, and we wouldn't be here without you guys. And the gym, George Jackson, we appreciate you and your support. And actually, guys, you need to start working out too. So the gym is open if you need to work out. And I want to thank everybody. And remember, I'll see you next Monday. This is your business reality with CB. God bless and take care.